folks, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the weekly coaching series. Last week was chaos. I launched the 6-month program, so I did not post a video here. I apologize for that, but we are going to jump right back into it. This is a quick video. It's powerful, and this is really going to be where we start getting into the meat and potatoes of what we want to start talking about. In the last video, I talked about the golden question, which is essentially, what do you want? I'm going to elaborate on that just a little bit, but with that same approach, the idea of today's video is all about creating your vision. And actually, I'm just going to throw this in here. I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but I thought it just literally just popped in my head, and it's a great metaphor to use. I'm in the process of doing my motorcycle training course. It's just like a course to help me so that I don't die on a motorcycle. Yesterday was all about learning how to turn in curves. And the most important piece of advice was you have to be looking at, the way that they say it is you have to look through the curve, meaning wherever the end of that curve is, that's where you want to be looking, because when your head is pointed in that direction, it's going to shift your shoulders and your body, and it's going to take the bike in that direction. And of course, as soon as I heard this, I translated it into coaching and life in general, of how it is so important that we have the end goal in mind. Where do we want to go? If we know where we want to go, if we know the GPS direction, we plug it in, and everything, we just move through the process to get there. We just take the curves and we do what we have to do with that end goal in mind. It makes it a lot easier to overcome all the barriers, which we're going to be talking about in following videos, all the obstacles that we're going to run into to try to get to our destination. But for today, the most important thing is creating that destination, creating your vision. And this goes back to the question of last week of, what do you want? And on a higher level, what is going to bring happiness in your life? Is the job that you're currently doing making you happy? Is what you're doing, is whatever it is that you're doing for a living making you happy? If it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to quit your job and find happiness in another job. It can mean that you find it from another area of your life, or maybe it does mean that you're quitting your job and you're starting that adventure into entrepreneurship or whatever that might be. Because the reality, as I've talked about in other videos, is that we spend the most of our lives at work. So why not try to do something that we love to do? So the most important thing before we do anything else, this is always the first step that I take my clients on in my coaching programs, and it's not a one question thing, it's a process, but we get extremely clear on what the vision is and what we're trying to accomplish. Once we know that, I help them build the strategy. We figure out how we're going to overcome the personalized obstacles that they have in their life. But the most important thing, where all the energy is spent, 80% of it is in the starting of figuring out and getting clear on what we want. So I want you to start here, and I just want you to think in your life, what will make me happy if I'm not getting that in my life, or if I'm not feeling fulfilled, whatever it is. If you're looking for something, whatever that thing is, fulfillment or happiness or motivation or accomplishment, and if you're not getting it, what is going to give that to you? So we want to get very clear on what it is that we want, what our vision is. Now, I'm going to add the next level to that in here, but you do not have to go to this place immediately. Some people do. Sometimes it ties into it, sometimes it doesn't. It's totally up to you. But the next level, and what the Chosen One's concept is entirely based off of, and if you've read the book, if you're watching this, you know the purpose equation that I've created, which is enjoyment plus gifts plus contribution. So the whole part of, doing what we are good at and using our gifts and what we enjoy doing, most importantly, the secret element in that is contributing, giving back to the world in some way or another, and making the world a better place. And there's a million ways for us to do this, but that is the icing on the cake. We don't have to do that now. Step one can simply be, what can I do to make myself happy? Because if we feel happy and if we feel fulfilled, then we're going to show up as an incredible human being for everyone around us. And that in itself is going to help you to change the world. And that is such a contagious habit that it's going to organically push you in the right direction from there. However, the piece of the puzzle that still ends up being missed, I still talk to people who are happy and maybe not so much fulfilled, but living an incredible life, making a lot of money, and it is that contribution factor that's missing in their life. So that is why I just want to put this on the table. Whether you want to implement it now, if you want to do it later, that is totally fine. But the idea is getting all of these things that you want and doing it in a way that you can make a positive impact in the world, or a positive impact on the people in the world, however that looks. And like I said, there's a million ways to do that. It can be simply smiling at someone walking down the street. However you want to tie that in. The reason I say it and the importance is because we all start that business and we do these things and we make all the money, and eventually we get to a point where we're still missing something. And that is that thing. It is the fulfillment that we will get comes from serving others and being selfless. So it's almost a kind of a contradictory thing that I'm saying here, because I want you to be selfish in being selfless. Because if we're selfless, that is a selfish thing to do, because it makes us feel incredible and it gives us that feeling of fulfillment and happiness and joy that many of us are looking for. So that is today's video. It's very simple to get clear on what it is that you want, what is missing in your life, creating your direction and creating your vision of where you want to go. And in the next video, we're back on a regular weekly basis. I'm going to start putting these out on Friday. I think it was Sunday before, but I need that day off because I'm so busy. I'm going to start putting these out on Friday. So on Friday, we're going to start talking about the barriers. If you really want to get the full value out of these videos, try to do the basic homework, which is simply this week sitting down and asking yourself, what do I want? What is my vision? If you want clarity on that, I do offer support in my coaching programs, but it is not a simple 1 hour conversation. I have the, what are the programs? The Life on Fire, the 6-month Life on Fire program, that is closed. It's not available. That's why I've been too busy in my life, busier than I'd like to be, because the first month of that program is very intensive. But I am offering the similar program in a kind of more compact version in the 90-day Design Your Dream Life. So I'll take you through that process if you want guidance. Otherwise, just spend your own time and get clear. A lot of the work I do is helping people to unlock the answers within themselves. So if you can do that on your own, go for it. If you want the assistance, I'm here to help. And next week, we're going to start talking about barriers. Have an incredible week. Talk to you later. Peace.